the Oracle Foundation will be able to start selling. And they will sell independently. The rules are very clear. I think when I get time, they will sell independently on the price. The price will be a key deal. The current price by then. Number two, they'll only be able to sell off 1% repeatedly for a given period of time. Man, if all this is understood, then ladies and gentlemen, this is not only a business, but it is an opportunity. A powerful opportunity that has the power and the ability to provide a key of the things that I want to talk about today. But apart from that it is a purely decentralized autonomous organization that has been able to play in place real-world assets like the UCAD, real-world user cases like the OnNet social media platform that I know very, very soon most of us are going to be using, that will be bringing on board or the ability for people to socialize as they use ONF tokens in different transactions, but also the ability to use the UCAD so that you who's listening to me, you'll be able to deposit your ONF. Automatically, it turns to USDT. Automatically, it turns to USDT, and you can be able to feed your family with maybe your basic needs, buy a car, build a house, pay your bills comfortably in that manner. All this put in place, ladies and gentlemen, it opens up a pure understanding of a project that me and you need to pay close attention to, understand its benefits, and be able to maximize the opportunity to the fullest. And so today, I want to share a topic that I love, a topic that when my friend of mine in 2017 met me deep in the village running my own clinic, gave me a book. And the book was written by Robert Kiyosaki. In this book that was written by Robert Kiyosaki, the book was very, very clear. And the book was talking about the business of the 21st century. At first, it never made sense. Just a minute. At first, it never made a sense because this was talking about the business of the 21st century. It was trying to tell me that for you to be successful, you don't need to be like Amazon. Most of you will agree with me that the most successful businesses we have today are those that are being run online. If I'm right, drop me one in the chat. Amazon could sell more bed sheets than a person who has a big textile business in Germany. Alibaba could sell more mattresses than someone who has a very big setup. A very, very big setup in Uganda. And that's why that are selling products, pick the same product, open up their own platform, and sell it at a higher price. You get what I mean? And people are making a fortune with that. They don't own the product. They find the product on a different platform. Then they decide to sell the same product on their own platform. And they make a fortune. And so, these high costs that could come from owning a physical shop, owning the product. In our century, you may not need to own the product, but still become very, very successful. And so, one of the things I want everybody to agree with me, that in our century, since 2000, there have been more opportunities to create multi-millionaires, to make more money than the opportunities have appeared in the past. In the 20th century, the education system was brought in play that decided to turn human beings into slaves. They become slaves of their knowledge. Give me a yes if what I'm saying is reality. Human beings started to become slaves of their knowledge. You become a doctor. People have decided to become slaves of their own knowledge. Someone becomes a lawyer and they are slave of their own knowledge. But ladies and gentlemen, our century is now providing more freedom. The coming of Bitcoin in 2009, the coming of Ethereum in 2015, the innovation of BNB in 2017, the coming of Solana, DAI, the coming of stable coins like USDT, USDC, the ability to allow people develop their own applications onto the blockchain, which we call the decentralized applications, like Aave, that is a lending protocol, like DAI, that people are able to develop their own DAI tokens, like OHM or Olympus in 2021, like Oracle. So the coming of the first oracles of crypto that have built their own blockchains and allowed other software developers to develop their own applications on these blockchains has now created a new economy. And this new economy is the economy that I want to talk about now. But here comes a question before I dig deep. If someone opens up a bond for cars, does it mean that person is the manufacturer of the car, of the cars he's selling? Give me some answers. Does it mean that that person is the manufacturer of the cars he's selling? Thank you so much, Godfrey. The answer is no. But does that person need to market? Does that person need to market the cars that he doesn't own? Does that person need to talk about the cars, even understand the details about the cars he doesn't own? The answer is yes. The answer is yes. So that he can be able to make profit. But look here, guys. Let me share my screen very fast. Let me share my screen very fast.
Just a minute. Just a minute. Just a minute. Okay. Now let me share my screen. Now let me share my screen. Okay. Now, today, I want to also talk about why is it important to build a team? Why could you decide to say, I'm going to stake, but I don't want to stake alone? Ladies and gentlemen, it is important for everybody listening to me this morning to understand one stone fact, that teamwork is the foundation for lasting success in the ONF DAO ecosystem. I don't want to lie to you that you joining the business and staking alone will guarantee you success. Yes, you will stake, you'll earn the tokens, you'll be able to sell the tokens, but I have a question. Would it be okay that maybe you bought ONF at $80 and by the time you want to sell your token, ONF is at $500? Let me know in the chat. Would it be okay that you got started in ONF when ONF is $80 and by the time you are selling ONF is at $500? Let me know in the chat. Would it be a good deal? Let me know. Let me know in the chat if it would be a good deal. Huh? Someone is disturbing my training. Someone is disturbing my training, but just a minute, guys. Just a minute. Huh? Would it be okay that you got started? Okay, very good. Now, that's why I'm saying that it will basically need us to do something for that to happen. How many of you agree with me? How many of you agree with me? How many of you agree with me? How many of you agree with me that we need to do something for that to happen? How many of you agree with me? So for us to be able to get this, let me start with point number 1. Shared growth and multiplication. Your success multiplies when your team succeeds. In short, what I mean that for you to get very good results, you need to be able to have a team that succeeds. And the only way for us to have a team that succeeds, whoever has already started their staking, is not to stake alone. Number 2, each person you mentor helps others grow. Anybody you bring in the business and they learn how to stake, and they start withdrawing their profits. At 4 a.m., when they are sleeping, they get paid. At 4 p.m., they are thanked for being alive during the day. They will teach others the same thing. It means that it will help others grow. Number 3, shared effort builds momentum and long-term sustainability. How many of you understand that if I start staking today for 360 days, and someone starts staking tomorrow for another 360 days, will all our staking end the same day? Let me know. Will all our staking end the same day? Let me know in the chat. Will all our staking end the same day? Okay. Never. They will have different ends. So shared effort, it builds momentum. Not only that, it brings long-term sustainability. And this long-term sustainability is very important. Number 3 now, what do that? Amen. Kale. Now, guys, success becomes a collective achievement, not an individual race. Success should be a collective achievement. And I want everybody in our community to understand that your decision to join is highly valuable. We value your decision to be part of this opportunity, and we are not taking it for granted. So we want that it is a collective achievement. It is not an individual race. You see, when someone opens up a shop, their success is a personal basis. But when you join a DAO, a decentralized autonomous organization, becoming successful is a collective effort. It is a collective effort. So that's why I am calling upon everybody on the call. Let's join hands. The reason why team building is key. Number 2, increase the earning potential. Ladies and gentlemen, the team expands your earning sources within the ONF DAO. When you join the business and you stake, you only earn from your stake. But when you bring Julius and he stakes, when Julius earns $100 million, 20 million is paid to you. Is that a good deal? Let me know in the chat. So when you do not stake alone, this expands your earnings. Number 2, you benefit from your team's staking and participation activity. Guys, look here. I was presented this business alone. But today, we are closed. Sorry, guys. Sorry. Let me come back again. Let me come back again. So, it shifts income from active effort to residual earnings. And to me, this is very important. Your income shifts. Your income shifts. And this is very important. From being active to residue. That, okay, you know, the only way you can improve the number of tokens you are earning is by staking more. It means that this involves your active participation, your active effort to find money and bring it into the ecosystem. But ladies and gentlemen, it is very important that when you bring Amina to stake, and Amina stakes, this provides a new potential income that whenever Amina earns, you also earn. And that's what I'm talking about. That the decision for you not to stake alone will perfectly and purely shift income from active income to residual earnings. That at 4 p.m. Ugandan time, when Amina will be paid according to their stake, if Amina was going to earn 10 tokens, yes, you will earn 10 tokens, and you also earn 2 tokens. And if Amina brought Peter, and Amina and Peter also earns 10 tokens, you will also be given 1.5 tokens. How many of you are copying? If Peter brought Andrew, Amina earns 10 tokens. Peter earns 10 tokens. And he also brought, you keep on earning. And that income that keeps flowing through from the first level of 20%, the second level 15%, the third level 15%, other levels of 10% to 5%, the volume becomes huge. Because now it shifts from active effort to residual income. Number 2, it builds a foundation for financial freedom. It builds a foundation for financial freedom. And I express financial freedom in my philosophy that I call the 3S and the 3F. In my philosophy of the 3S, I define financial freedom. It sits on 3 core values of growth. People grow from suffocating financial status. Because before you decide to take action, you needed to diagnose. In medicine, we call it problem diagonization, the ability to understand the problem. So where you are you currently financially? Are you into a suffocating situation? You are not able to pay your bills. You are not able to meet your bills. You find difficulty to take your children to school comfortably. You find it difficult to travel from one place to another because you don't have maybe a simple means of transport, owning your own car. You have difficulty in paying your rent. You don't have a house to stay. Ladies and gentlemen, many people teach people to save money. But how many of you agree with me that you can't save what you don't earn? Give me a 2. Give me a 2 if you agree with me. You can't save what you don't earn. How many of you could see your children dying in hunger, but you have a goal of buying a house and you still keep your money in the bank? Hello? Let me know. Let me know. Can you do that? How many of you could see your mother in the hospital and you have a goal of buying land and you have money into your bank account and you still say, my mother, my dad, please, I have a goal. So the only way to grow financially is to increase our income sources. The only way to strengthen our growth financially is to be able to have multiple sources of income. And within the Oracle DAO, you can have multiple sources of income that even come while other people do nothing about it. Because they have invested. And you took your one single time to explain to them about the power of the Oracle DAO. Whenever they earn, you earn. That exponential growth builds a foundation of financial freedom. And this foundation of financial freedom that I group into the 3S and the 3F, are you having sufficient? Are you able to be able to pay your bills well? But I want to welcome you to a life I live today. I want to welcome you to a life I found in cryptocurrency. When I was introduced to cryptocurrency a few years ago, ladies and gentlemen, I was living a suffocating lifestyle. I was staying in a rented house. I was not able to pay my rent in time. I was finding it hard to find what to eat. Life was crazy, crazy difficult. And then someone introduced me to cryptocurrency. Although I had little capital to trade during that previous project, I went out of myself and shared the opportunity to other people. And whenever these people were trading, I was earning something. I was like someone who owns a mall. Ladies and gentlemen, this shifted my income from a suffocating lifestyle to a sufficient lifestyle of paying my bills. Ladies and gentlemen, but this was not enough. This was not enough. I have a philosophy I call live fully, die empty. What is your dream? What is your goal? What is that burning desire that you have? Tonight and today, I want to wake up the beast in you. Tonight and today, I want to remind you, and I want to remind you this by telling you a story. Once upon a time, there lived a young man in a city called Katumbwe. So there was a city called Katumbwe. So this young man called Nakutulumya was living in Katumbwe city. And so Nakutulumya had a dream of building apartments in different cities. Nakutulumya had a dream of building a storage house. Nakutulumya had a dream of having a big farmland. Nakutulumya wanted to leave a big legacy for his children in Katumbwe city. So while he was staying in Katumbwe city, one day he was sleeping in his house and he heard a very loud noise outside. And this loud noise, the angels had opened up. They came slowly, picked Nakutulumya in his seated house, in his rent house. He was renting, and life was very hard. And they told him, we are taking you to heaven. These were angels. So Nakutulumia, as they were taking him, he begged and said, before you take me, I was having plans, but I had no income sources. I was having a goal of driving a car. I was having a goal of doing this for my mother, doing this for my father. I was having all these big goals. But the angels told Nakutulumia, but we have given you so many opportunities so that you could make Katumbwe a very nice city, but we see you are not doing anything. Nakutulumia made a commitment. But the angels asked Nakutulumia that if you want a second chance, could you write down things you feel you cannot do? How many of you listening to me right now, you have things you feel, I can't do this. I can't build my own house. I can't build my own house. I can't drive my own car. I can't own a storage. Write them down. And when they wrote them down, the angels asked Nakutulumia to get all the long paper and burn it. And so Nakutulumia burnt the paper. They asked Nakutulumia to go and power the burnt papers into a flowing river. And by the time he was done, it was already evening time. And they gave Nakutulumia a second chance. They gave Nakutulumia a second chance. And when Nakutulumia got this second chance, when he met a good opportunity, he always gave it his best. Ladies and gentlemen, today as I speak, Nakutulumia stays in his own house. Nakutulumia now has a beautiful family. Why? Because Nakutulumia wrote down the things he thought he can't do, and he took over the opportunity. And Nakutulumia now has the power to have surplus. Nakutulumia now has the power to care for other people. He can pay his bills well. He can be able to meet his costs well, but also to bless other people. But Nakutulumia has 3 F's in common that led his financial freedom. Nakutulumia has 3 F's. And these 3 F's, I want to talk them about you. I'm already writing a book called, the title I'll tell you very soon, but already we are on page 67. But on that page, I talk about these 3 F's: fear, faith, and freedom. Because my brother Nakutulumia of Katumbwe City, when he was given a second chance, like you are being given today, Nakutulumia developed these 3 F's that I define in my book. And these 3 F's are fear, faith, and freedom. That, ladies and gentlemen, taking action does not mean we understand everything. But most of the people allow the fear of the unknown, the fear of the unexistence, to become a stumbling block into the freedom they deserve. Because freedom and fear, they have a bridge called faith. Ladies and gentlemen, taking action doesn't mean we don't have fear. But within us, within you who's listening to me, you need to fill yourself with freedom. Entrepreneurship needs you to have the faith, because the faith is the bridge between the fear of the unknown and the freedom you deserve. And ladies and gentlemen, you deciding to reach out to people, it is not because you don't have the fear, but you have the faith. because it is the faith that brings the bridge to the freedom. And the freedom will allow you to have surplus. How many of you would like to wake up without worrying about your income? Because when you stake, you will be paid. But when others stake, you'll have surplus. You are building a foundation of financial freedom. Outside in the world, many people get wealth in different ways. Some steal, some become government officials, some rob. But ladies and gentlemen, you have the power and ability to build financial freedom like this guy, Nakutulumia of Katumbwe City. By having faith and work even with fear to acquire the freedom you deserve. Ladies and gentlemen, when you decide to build a community in the ONF DAO, there is stronger community influence. Teams strengthen your voice in the DAO governance. Like the 540 that we are about to vote. When you have a stronger team, you'll be able to govern what happens in the community. Ladies and gentlemen, a united team influence in community. We can reach 2028 and we vote and say, ONF DAO only bring in the market 0.5%. How many of you understand why I'm saying? Because we have power. We vote better. Our votes have strength. Because this is a DAO, we need a bigger community to have a bigger influence. The reason why we joined the DAO, we need a bigger community. That's why I'm calling upon all of you to be like a Nakutulumia of Katumbwe City. To have the faith to acquire the freedom by getting outside of our comfort zone, to reach out to everybody, because we need to gain influence in this DAO. Number 3, leadership is earned through collaboration and consistency. Once you have started, you have staked. Teach another person to stake. Give them time. Keep doing it. Do not stop. Keep doing it. Do not stop. Keep doing it. Do not stop. I remember when I got started in crypto close to 5 years ago, I have been consistent for the last 5 years. But during my consistency, even when people abuse me, even when people say so much about me, I have always remained consistent. And ladies and gentlemen, with no surprise, I have counted that in the last 3 months of doing Oracle, Oracle has paid me $23,000. I want to ask you a question. Has this stopped the other people what they said about me? Let me know in the chat. Has this stopped what other people talk about me? They said Julius has joined a project that is going to steal people's money. They said he doesn't understand cryptocurrency. They said that guy is very bad. A lot of words. But ladies and gentlemen, leadership is earned through working with others and being consistent every single day. And I want to call upon your consistency because I have tested consistency for the last 5 years. And I now live like Nakutulumia of Katumbwe City. I now live like Nakutulumia of Katumbwe City. But although I live like a Nakutulumia of Katumbwe City, this has not stopped me to be able to every single day. Because why, ladies and gentlemen, the dream is big. The dream is big. I not only want to become successful, but I want to be significant. And there is no way I can be significant without not creating so many success stories around me across the world. And one of the success stories of Nakutulumia, of Katumbwe City, is you. I want you to be another Nakutulumia of Katumbwe city of your area. And you can only earn this by collaborating with other people, teaching other people how this project works and allowing them to stick with you. Number 4, why you need to build a team. Continuous learning and support. Ladies and gentlemen, teams provide faster learning and deep understanding. Once you decide to build a team, you're going to get extra knowledge from other people you bring in the board. Why? Because members share strategies, ideas, and solutions. Number 3, challenges become opportunities for collective growth. Challenges become opportunities for collective growth. All these are here for us to play with. Number 4, build strong communication and leadership skills. You're going to be able to become a better leader. You are going to be able to become a better leader. Number 5, legacy and leadership. Building a team develops leadership and mentorship skills. Your impact continues through the leaders you train. Creates long-term legacy of empowerment and growth. In conclusion, ladies and gentlemen, this morning, in the ONF DAO, your team is more than a network. It's your engine for growth. By building, guiding, and supporting others, you unlock financial freedom, you unlock your influence, and you unlock your legacy. When one rises, we all rise together. I want to thank you so much for joining today's training. I still remain Wealth Coach Julius. I want to see you, all of you, succeed in the business. I want to thank you for listening to me tonight. I want to encourage you not to stick alone. Make sure you stick with someone, because, ladies and gentlemen, the 3 A's you are looking for, whether you are suffocating, whether you have sufficient, but you are interested to have surplus, like my brother Nakutulumia of Katumbwe City, you just need to have the 3 F's with you: fear, faith, and freedom. The fear you have just needs your faith in the Oracle DAO, the ability to believe in the Oracle DAO ecosystem, so that you gain the freedom. Yes, there is fear, but as an entrepreneur, you need the faith. And when you have the faith, it's going to lead you to the freedom that will allow you have surplus. With that said and done, ladies and gentlemen, I want to wish you a nice day. See you very soon as the new Nakutulumia of your Katumbwe City. So have a good day, ladies and gentlemen. I wish you the best. And thank you for today.